Heiner here from Offtap Brewing. I just thought I'd shoot you a video response to your bittering in the cube. I've just gone back and sat through all your 3 videos of your brew day and your up to this cube bittering video number 2. Just reading through the comments on here, and someone says always suspicious of people who never produce poor beer. Well, here at Offtap Brewing, or here in Bubbles and Chalk, we like pushing the boundaries, especially with this cube editions and no chilling. And I'll tell you now, I have produced some shitty beers. A lot of that can be contributed to poor yeast pitching, and not yeast temperatures, but poor underpitching and stuff like that, laboured starts and all that. But I have, that day that we did that video, and Casbar added 450 grams of Cascade to a cube. Now that's not a very nice beer. It's not even poor. It's pretty crappy. I would add a little bit of that to a beer like this, a pale ale. This is a pale ale that was cubed hopped only with no chill. And yeah, you're right about the oils. They will keep the head retention down. So, as the higher the alpha acids and everything, and the more oil content of your hops, it's going to produce more oil in your fermentation, and that's going to happen whether you no chill or not, or you bitter in the cube or not. Those sorts of things, when you dry hop with that sort of stuff, that will happen. There's ways around that. You can, after fermentation has finished, you're down to 4th stage, 3rd or 4th stage fermentation. There is a way you can add those hops in. You get some light malt extract, just a couple of litres, and you put that on the stove top with some water and some light malt extract. Probably, you could probably go 100 grams, 200 grams in 200 litres of water. And I'd put that on to boil, and I would add my flame out additions to that. I would boil that wort for the 10 minutes with those hops in it, and then let that cool, and then put that straight into your fermentation bucket. That will give you your flame out additions as if you were boiling. And if you just wanted to add all your bittering into the cube and then go and dry hop later, I hope you understand what I mean. There's ways around having to do that. You don't have to boil for 1 hour and add all your flavours in. You can do it after fermentation's finished. That will also stop CO2 from scrubbing out all the aroma of those hops and the flavour, because as your wort's fermenting, you got CO2 going through your fermentation bucket, pushing aroma out. It dulls the aroma. That's why everyone says dry hop after fermentation is finished. When you're racking to secondary, if you do that sort of process, because then the vigorous CO2 scrubbing has already finished. So that's a way of getting that flavour in there if you wanted to do that. Now, as far as bittering, there are programs out there that do, I think there's a free Australian one, Brewmate or something, I'm not sure, don't quote me, I have done a video on it. So, you just have to go back and find that. It allows for no chill additions, like no chill, you just click a button, no chill, and it calculates that for you. In your other brewing software, I would recommend just adding it as a 10-minute bittering addition, and it'll give you a very, and it has been told to me that it's pretty accurate representation of the IBUs you're going to get out of that beer. But in maintaining those IBUs, you've got to have the alcohol content there to offset that. And I mean, you're an experienced brewer, obviously, so you know what I'm talking about with the bitterness levels and the alcohols. Yeah, I'm sorry that beer didn't turn out. I'd look at your dry hopping regime and the amount you put in. Also, I would highly recommend leaving that beer, if you've got it bottled, leaving it for a month. Like trying a bottle in, say, 2-3 weeks. and then see how it's changed from there. Because I did a beer the other day. It was my Friday the 13th brew, which stuffed up on me. So what sort of enzymes I created in that mash, I don't know, because my temperatures were all ass about face, and it was just a big nightmare. I added to the cube a small amount of Ella, which is 15.4, 15.5 alpha acid. It's a very oily hop. And I also added Ella, a big amount of Ella as a dry hop to like about 12 to 15 litres roughly of that. I added a big amount of dry hop of Ella to that, and I tried it out of the bottle because I didn't have enough to keg. I tried it out of the bottle approximately 4 days after bottling it, and I thought someone tripped me over and pushed grapefruits in my head. It was so grapefruity. It was just wow. I was like, oh, because I've earmarked this beer to give away to a few people as, like, you know, here's a sample of what I do. You know, when I'm at work, I talk about beer all the time, so I like to every now and then just take in a few beers for everybody, just, you know, sweeten the pot a little, and so they get to talk to me about it. And I was like, oh, what have I created here? That is just way too bitter. No wonder no one likes these hops. Blah 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 blah. You know, when I first put them in the fermentation chamber, they were smelling like you know, tinned fruit. It was awesome smell. And then it went to grapefruit. I'm like, oh no. Well, I put one in the fridge. This is over a week now in the bottle, and I put one in the fridge the other day, yesterday, day before, Sunday, I think, yeah, Sunday. So I was over a week in the bottle, and I chilled it in the fridge all day, and I said to the wife, here, look, let's try this one again. It's time to give it another go. And we cracked it, and oh wow, it has so many nice flavours in it. Peach, apricot, mango. Yeah, it's hard to fathom. Like when I close my eyes and I drink it, I close my eyes and I imagine a beer that I've been drinking before. Magic Hat number 9 comes to my mind. You know, and beers along that sort of level. It is super nice. I will put another one in the fridge on you know, before I go back to work on Tuesday next week, and I'll see how much it's changed again before I, you know, take some in for the boys at work. So you've got to be careful of your hop additions, and you've also got to give them time to balance in the beer. I didn't know. I didn't pick up whether your time frame, what sort of time frame you had on those, and how much you left the hops in there. But you know, definitely the no chill would not have made an off flavour in your beer, because we've been doing it here in Australia for many years. I tasted my first all grain beer out of a no chill cube. I produce them and I sell them for Offtap Brewing, and I have my recipes that you know, that I'm happy to give out. They're very basic recipes, but very nice beers, and I'm happy to give those recipes out. They are calculated for a 70 litre batch, so all you do is scale it down. But the beers that I produce, normal Beer Fun Fridays and that sort of thing, there's no recipe. I do all that on the fly. I just put it in my head and go and crush the grain. It might be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Whatever I've got laying around, oh, that bag's nearly empty, I'll just put that in. You know, and then when the mash is finished and it's getting up to the boil, then I'm thinking about the hops. I haven't thought about the hops yet, and then I'm just going through the freezer, going through bags of hops. Oh, what have I got? Yeah, I'll use this because it's high alpha acid for the bittering, and I'll throw in 50 grams of that into the cube, and I'll leave that. Or shit, I've got this, it's really low alpha acid, I'm just going to throw the whole lot in. You know, that's how they're produced. So I don't really have recipes for that. I do, if I'm creating a video, I do talk about what I'm doing in the video, so that's about the only way you get a recipe for that. Blah 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 blah. Okay, but yeah, I can assure you that you know, nothing that no chill or cube hopping did to affect your beer. I would definitely go with the way you dry hopped it. And maybe next time, my previous suggestion of making a hop tea, we call them, just by, you can do it just out of the kettle also. I like to do it with a little bit of malt extract, so there's sugars in there that can attach on to the isomerized acids and things and aroma molecules in that little hop tea. A lot of people just do it with boiling water out of the kettle, pour it into a pot, put the thing on there, leave it for 10 minutes and then strain that into their fermenter. And that's a very popular method here. In here in Australia we can buy little tea bags of hops that are for doing that. That's how you use them. You can either just drop that tea bag straight in your fermenter and leave it, or you can make a hop tea out of it. But what I've done in the past is I've made a little LME liquid boil for the stove, got it to boiling, added the hops, turned it off, let it cool. You know, if you're at final stage of fermentation, you can just add it in. It's not going to kill a whole heap of yeast on you, but always do it towards the end of fermentation. I hope I've covered some information for Ant. And if any of you guys see this and aren't subbed to Ant, is Ant Rogerson, I think. Let me just bring his thing up again. I did just click away. Yeah, Ant Rogerson, ANTROGERSON. Good guy. He's over there doing the no chilling, giving it a go, you know. So good luck in the future, Ant, and you know, thanks for asking me the question. I'm quite happy to do this video for you. As I said, I hope it helps you out. I hope it wasn't too long for you, wasn't enough garbage information. But yeah, keep up the good work, mate, and you know, remember, beer makes you smarter.